Ever since I was a young girl, my favorite time of year has been Christmas. And to my family and me, Christmas would not be the same without the miniature train scene that my dad put up every year under our Christmas tree. I got excited every time I saw the completed scene that my dad worked on for hours every day before Christmas Eve. Each year we had gotten a live Christmas tree, so after that was up and decorated, he had only about 3 days to finish the entire scene. I would watch and help my dad as he put up the board with gray roads painted on it, every intricate building that would make up the downtown, tiny decorated homes that was then the neighborhood, cars on the street, trees and landscaping, wired lights that brightly lit up the street, and tons of miniature people to make the town come alive. Finally, he would sprinkle fake snow over the whole town to complete the tiny winter wonderland. My favorite part about this as a child was when my dad would then lay with me on the ground and make up stories about all of the people in the scene. He might point to a young man and woman on the streets of the downtown and say that they had just met and fallen in love, or a mother and her children waiting on the front porch, waving to their father who was walking up the driveway with presents for the kids, or perhaps about the boy that was visible through the window of the home who opened an early Christmas present to find a puppy jumping out of the box to lick his face. My dad made up these stories completely out of the blue, and he and I would spend hours sitting in front of the scene for him to do this. He was a great storyteller. He made me laugh with funny stories about what the people were doing and told sweet stories about the people and families finishing their Christmas shopping and spending the holiday together. On Christmas Eve, my aunt and uncle and cousins and grandparents would come over and admire the scene every year. My cousins and I, as young children, would sit in front of the scene, looking at all the people and watching the train go around and around. Then we would wait for the train car filled with candy to pass us, and we'd quickly reach out to grab a piece before the train sped away. For holiday parties, when our house was filled with family and friends, everyone would love to see the scene and compliment my dad on his hard work. My parents and I enjoyed watching adults and children find joy out of looking at the miniature town my father had created. After having made the scene for years, and as it grew and grew to be a bigger town complete with a neighborhood, downtown, and skiing mountain, my dad finally submitted pictures to a publisher who was making a book called Toy Train Memories. His photos were chosen, and now we display the book in our living room. A few years after that, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer and was scheduled for surgery around Christmas. With her being in the hospital in New York and my dad having to help her recover, he was unable to put up the scene under the tree. That year, we set up an artificial tree in the basement, and together, he and I made a small scene under the tree. The photos of this and our usual scene were then published in a magazine, along with an article about how my father's father set up a scene every year as he grew up, how my dad wanted to continue the tradition and provide me with the same joy as a child at Christmas, and how we worked on the scene together and how it has helped us create a special bond and memories that will last forever. My parents and I moved to a new home when I was in high school, and we have only put up a very small scene on a cabinet since then. But my cousins and I still look forward to the day when my dad completes the scene again. And I look forward to continuing the tradition and designing a Christmas scene for my family and children to enjoy as well.